Thank you. Please be seated. Good afternoon. Okay, my name is Dougal. I'm the Dean of the London campus. It's a pleasure to welcome to this ceremony the parents, spouses, the relatives, friends and loved ones of the graduating class. To the class of 2023. Here we are, you made it. Yeah. What a year. Hult degree programs are designed to be intensive. They're designed to test you to your limits. Not in the sense of traditional examinations, but more in the manner that an athlete pushes themselves every day to become the best that they can be, developing your muscle memory through constant repetition and practice. That's what we've asked you to do during your degree program. We started the year talking about concepts like growth mindset, teamwork, diversity, marshmallows. We asked you to open yourselves up to seeing the world from new perspectives, to embrace ambiguity, to embrace change, to consider how you might make a difference that matters. At Hult, we've built our programs around these themes because we believe that these themes are the essential toolkit to enable us to adapt to the ever-changing world around us. They equip us to adapt and respond to world events that may be beyond our control: economic, political, humanitarian, pandemics. There will always be new layers of challenges and uncertainties. We believe that your experience at Hult will allow you to head into this world with confidence and optimism. So, you've all started and completed a graduate degree. You all deserve amazing praise for being here right now, for facing your fears, for demonstrating resilience, for working hard to achieve your goal. You're about to graduate from a very intensive program. You rose to the challenge, you conquered it. Never forget. To do that, you're amazing. We're all living through times of change. The world will continue to change. I don't expect you to remember everything you studied at Hult, but if there's one thing I hope you'll always carry with you, it's that you shouldn't fear change. Embrace change. Work with it. Help to craft times of change and uncertainty into a better world, a more equitable world for all of us. Now, in the context of universities that are sometimes hundreds of years old, Hult is a relatively young institution. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year as Hult International Business School. The London campus has been graduating students since 2009. So today marks the 15th graduation ceremony since we opened the London campus. In 2009, the first graduating class in London was approximately 75 students. Believe it or not, I was the London campus dean at the time, in 2009. I had a mere 75 diplomas to award, 75 hands to shake. We have a considerably higher number here in our ceremonies today. Beyond London, there are parallel graduation ceremonies taking place at other Hult campuses in San Francisco, in Boston, and in Dubai. Some of your classmates have chosen to graduate in these locations. Let's give a collective round of applause to congratulate all our peers at the campuses around the world. Anyway, today is about you, successful graduating students. Graduation is a time for celebration. You've achieved a milestone in your personal and professional development that no one can ever take away from you. As you look to the future, as you set out on your next journey, I'm just going to offer 2 pieces of advice. I could certainly offer more, but it's going to be a long ceremony. First is words of wisdom that I discovered written on the back of a sugar packet at International House of Pancakes, IHOP, back when I was a student myself living in Mississippi. The words of wisdom, and I've kept that sugar packet ever since. The sugar packet said, "It is better to try to do something and fail than try to do nothing and succeed." Words of wisdom from a sugar packet. The second piece of advice is a lot less cryptic. It's simply to remember the friendships that you've forged while you've been here in London. You'll be increasingly busy in your working life, but please find time to keep those friendships alive. Keep in touch with the people who remember your days at Hult along with you. Keep in touch with each other. So today, we celebrate your achievements, and in this beautiful hall, we will confer your degrees. Now, I am delighted to welcome to the stage the President of Hult International Business School, Dr. Matt Lilley.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Dean Ian. What a privilege it is to be here today, to celebrate this special day with all of you as we honor your achievements in reaching this special point. It's wonderful to see so many of you here with your families to celebrate in person. And wherever you've come from, you're very welcome, and I hope you have a truly wonderful day. I've been at Hult for 15 months now, and as I travel around our campuses, I'm always enormously impressed by what I see. The inspiring teaching of our amazing faculty, personified by my colleagues behind me today, our incredible international student community, and our even bigger alumni group. Really, the greatest privilege of my job is meeting with our students and our alumni and hearing their stories and how sometimes even many, many years later, Hult has changed their lives. During your time here at Hult, I hope that you've built a global community of friends for life and gained the skills to thrive in your next chapters. I hope that you've been challenged in ways that helped you to grow and to discover strengths and capabilities that you never knew you had. I hope you've learned. I hope you've had fun. Our focus on practical knowledge, learning by doing, working in teams and building its skills, that is the future of work, and you are well prepared. But as you well know, the world does not stand still, and I would urge you to stay curious and to keep learning. Today marks the end of your current chapter at Hult, but it's not goodbye. You will always be part of Hult, and Hult will always be part of you. Today you're making the transition from being a Hult student to being a Hult alumnus. You're joining a community of nearly 30,000 people. I ask you, please stay in touch. Sign up for your annual elective course with us here at Hult. Please use the alumni community for advice and connections. Please help fellow alumni who reach out to you. But most importantly, be proud of Hult. Tell people that you meet and that you work with about our school and how it helped to make you who you are today. It's customary at this point for old men to offer you some advice, and following in the footsteps of Dean Ian, here is some based on my experiences in life and in business. It's about plans. For those of you who have got a plan and know what you want to do next, or where you want to be in 5 years' time, that's great. Congratulations. And I really wish you success in getting to where you want to be. For those of you who don't have a plan, who aren't sure what you want to do next or where you want to be in 5 years' time, that's great too. Because life is long, the world changes, opportunities change, and you change. Some of the best things, maybe most of the best things that have happened to me in my life and my career were not things that I'd planned for, like being here for a start. In fact, in most of my career, I didn't have a plan. So what's the advice then? Well, as I hope you have been taught, anything worth saying comes in 3 parts. And so mine does too. First part is, even if you have a plan, always be open to a change or a different path. Sometimes the plan you had won't be right for you anymore. Sometimes you just didn't know what was going to be possible when you came up with your plan. If you're willing to switch to a better plan and have a good framework for deciding what a better plan is, you'll have so many more options in life. Second bit, give yourself the best possible chance to know about different opportunities. Read about a wide range of stuff. Ask questions, network, be curious. Some of the best opportunities in life come up by accident. But the accidents won't happen to you if you're not there. And finally, this is the most important part. Whatever you're doing now or in the future, do it well. You might or might not be pursuing your dream job today, and no job is fun every day. But opportunities generally come to people who are doing well, exceeding expectations, who have a good reputation. How well you're doing in a job generally is a combination of what you've chosen to do and how hard you've chosen to work. If you want to be successful, you owe it to yourself to choose to do something you're good at and to choose to work hard at it. Finally, to the class of 2023, enjoy this day. Nearly 30 years later, I look back on my own graduation day as one of the most special moments of my life, precious day that I shared with my family. I hope that you can all make similar memories today. Congratulations, everybody, and go well. I now have the privilege of introducing myself. We're moving on to a new element in our graduation ceremony, which is awarding the Hult Honorary Doctorate degree. This is just one way that we're marking our 20th anniversary, as Dean Ian said, by acknowledging individuals who illustrate our Hult spirit and what we teach in our programs, using skill and intelligence to transform business and making an impact that matters in the world. And our 2023 inaugural Honorary Doctorate degree recipients have shown that actions can produce incredible results. In the video that we're about to show you, I'm speaking with our first recipient, Paul Polman, the former transformational CEO at Unilever, who not only drove incredible financial results for the company and its shareholders, but who also ushered in the idea that purpose is not at loggerheads with profit. Paul Polman is a pioneer in corporate sustainability and one of my biggest inspirations. Let's listen now to what he has to say. To mark the occasion of Hult International Business School's 20th anniversary, we're awarding our first ever honorary doctorates to people from the business world who most embody our purpose to make an impact that matters and inspire others to do the same. It's a great privilege to be able to award our very first honorary degree to someone who has inspired me personally so much, Paul Polman.
Well, thank you, Matt, and first of all, congratulations on the 20 years, which have been enormous.
Paul's long and successful business career saw him run Europe for Procter & Gamble, the Americas for Nestlé, and culminated in a decade as CEO of Unilever. During his tenure, not only did Unilever create huge value for shareholders, but also Paul spearheaded the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan, pioneering the idea that business can profit through purpose. Paul is a Chevalier of the Légion d'Honneur, an Honorary Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire, and 3 times Investor Magazine's CEO of the Year. Today, Paul leads the United Nations Global Compact, is an ambassador for Race to Zero, and is an advocate for net positive businesses. Paul, thank you for joining us today. When you think of the future, would you say that you're an optimist about the future, and if so, why?
The first thing I always say is between an optimist and a pessimist, it's better to choose the optimist because you both have the same life, but an optimist probably has a little bit of a happier life.
What would you say are the biggest systems changes that we need today?
The biggest ones, without any doubt, is to move with speed and scale to what I talked about, this more inclusive, sustainable and resilient society that we want. And increasingly we can see that happen already in the private sector, where winners and losers are clearly marked now, or at the country level, where countries that are moving more aggressively are actually finding themselves in a better position. So we're moving, but we're not moving fast enough.
What about our students and graduates themselves? What advice would you give them on staying motivated to make positive change and having a sense of agency in a world where it may feel like they don't have much?
I think the first thing I would say to students is whatever you can do or whatever you can dream, do it, begin it right now. So many people that I encounter that are able to make the changes are afraid to speak up or take a risk or do something, and then frankly they regret it for the rest of their life. So my first thing I would say is be bold, be brave, and do the things you believe in.
Paul Polman, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you for joining us. It's now my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker to the stage. George Imafidon is a humanitarian engineer and CEO of Motivez, an award-winning organization championing underrepresented STEM students. To date, Motivez has impacted millions and directly supported over 9,000 young people into STEM jobs, gaining recognition from notables such as Idris Elba, Beyoncé, and the royal family. A race engineer for Sir Lewis Hamilton's Team X44, and a board member at the Co-op Foundation and the Hamilton Commission, George has enhanced diversity in STEM and in motorsport. His experiences span companies such as Google, McKinsey, and Rolls-Royce, where his innovation saved them over £50 million. Most recently, George won the Young Engineer of the Year award, Extreme E-Championship, and was awarded an MBE for services to young people and STEM. We're delighted that George is with us today. So please join me in welcoming to the stage.
That was serious. Before I start, good afternoon. Good afternoon. One more time, it's a celebration. Good afternoon. Amazing, thank you so much. So I bumped into a few of you today as I was coming in, and first of all, just a compliment. Love the high heels from many of you ladies. Looking absolutely beautiful in your gowns. So yeah, as my mum would say, in your Sunday's best. So it wasn't too long ago myself that I was in your shoes. I graduated from mechanical engineering and programming at UCL, and that was on March the 9th, 2022, so really not long ago. And kind of that time I finished in COVID, so that was a 1-year delay for me. And I guess I was in a similar seat to you, thinking that question that always comes up, that you ask the person next to you, so what's next, right? And that was where I was. But before I kind of go into everything, I just want to do the pleasantries and honor President, Provost, Deans, and everyone here and the whole team that has managed to make today even possible. So let's just give them a round of applause to begin with. So as I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, and I was thinking about what is the definition of commencement, and one way to see it is a celebration, a graduation ceremony, which acknowledges everything that you've done so far, concludes the hard work that you've all put in. But another way of seeing that word is a beginning. And I hope that by the end, you'll feel as excited as I am for everything that's to come, even if you can't answer that question, what's next? So as I'm up here today, it's really all about you. And I'll share a little bit about my story, but hopefully you can get some insights and tips to purposefully chase your dreams. So my journey started out in one of the best places in London. Can anyone guess? Just shout out. Where's that? Not Ruislip, definitely not. Anywhere else? South London? Oh, I love it. Peckham, you've done your research. So now it's known for rooftop bars, if any of you have been, new artisan coffee shops popping up on every other corner. For me, the biggest thing was actually seeing a Nando's, because you all know it's not cheeky anymore. And seeing them open that up was interesting. But that's when I knew when the gentrification really kicked in. But for me, growing up, Peckham was a concrete jungle. And as a kid, there was me, my mum, who worked multiple low-paid and menial jobs, as she kind of came from Nigeria. And there was my older brother. He was 4 years older than me. And I guess we were surrounded by all the vices that you can imagine, whether it be violence, alcohol abuse, drug abuse. And at the age of 14, my brother was forcibly imprisoned for murder and about 5 other charges. So at that point, I guess I was thinking, what do I do? What's next? But also, 2 of his friends, unfortunately, were sentenced to 30 years to life. And that's longer than many of us have lived, in front of me, anyway. And I guess the real cause of that was poverty. And I saw there was a lack of access to opportunities, for the most part, which often led to, in my case, many people leaving their bikes to rust in their gardens. And I essentially just took it upon myself to fix their bikes. I sent my mum the link. I used to actually use her money, taking money from her purse to fix those initially. So if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But for other kind of times, that actually turned into my first side hustle. And that's where I started to get my pocket money to actually do everything that I was doing. And I guess that love for 2 wheels eventually translated into 4 wheels, and I started go-karting. And that track, which was my local track at the time, eventually closed down. So that dream of karting was pretty short-lived, but if I'm honest, I'm not sure I was a Verstappen or Hamilton anyway. But ultimately, that was kind of where I could express myself, and that dream also came to an end. But what I said to myself at that point was that if I can't be inside of the car in a race, then I'll be outside of the car and help to build it. So that was my main motivation, to combine my different interests that I had and the things that I cared about in a very practical way, and work on the most kind of promising problems. So since then, I've described myself as a humanitarian engineer, as was mentioned, and my mission is really to help people, on the most pressing problems that are in society in a way that centers people and the planet. So that's kind of my why and almost what has brought me here today. So I guess I do this in three main ways, and you'll start to see how this links. So the first one started out in 2015. I realized that many of my friends at the time that I grew up with in Peckham were being kicked out. And that was in year 9 or year 10, and they never really had access to the opportunities that I had now started to get hands on, essentially. And I saw a problem, which is a key thing. There's always a problem that you're going to see as you go out into the world every single day. And for me, I kind of saw that as a problem, and I knew, just based upon the values that I was brought up with, that it's important that I leave everywhere better than I found it. So it was at that point that I met my co-founder, Motivez, in Peckham Burger King. See Peckham coming up again. And, we kind of launched Motivez at that time, which is, as mentioned, supported thousands of young people into STEM every single year. And our whole mission is around producing change makers. And we just celebrated our 8th year anniversary. But for the second hat that I wear, it came after graduating. So literally straight after I had finished. And I was kind of interning at places such as Google, McKinsey, and Rolls-Royce, where, again, I spotted problems. And then I got an email from someone called Lewis Hamilton. Anyone know Lewis Hamilton? Show of hands. Yes, someone said, well, I love that. Got a supporter. And I initially thought that was spam, because he's got no business emailing me, as I thought at the time. But he reached out to me because he kind of heard about my work, and he wanted me to join the board of the Hamilton Commission. But from that point, I was like, there's another opportunity here. So I created an opportunity that eventually, from that first meeting, led me to join his race team and race around the world with this electric racing team to raise awareness of climate change in the most remote locations around the world. So think of places like Greenland with glaciers that are melting at an ever faster rate. Think of places like Senegal that have plastic pollution, or places like Chile where you have one of the driest deserts in the world. And for me, my lips have never been drier being on that stage or being at that race. So there's been a lot of different environments that we've kind of been to. But we essentially take our electric SUV and superimpose it on those problem areas in order to raise awareness. And I started off as a junior engineer, and then went on to a performance engineer the following year, and then a race engineer. So now running that team. So now I guess I spend half of the time working on Motivez and half of the time in motorsport, just for context. And lastly, in my spare time, on the board of the Hamilton Commission and Court Foundation, which allows me to improve diversity in STEM and beyond. And that's really to ensure that those coming up behind me don't have to experience exactly what I experienced, because there's, I guess, there's nothing found in doing that, other than me having regrets for not doing anything about it. So I've essentially helped to raise and given out millions of pounds, and for me, that's probably been the most fulfilling part of the journey. But why do I share all of this, and what does it have to do with you? So there's two main things I would like you to take away, and it's kind of all linked. So the first is to explore what gives you energy. And just think of the analogy of a cup, if you're tracking with me. And just think about what inspires you, what makes you dream, what kind of builds your creativity. And for me, it was found in communities that I was serving in, such as my church or One Young World. So you heard Polman speaking up on the video earlier, and he's a person I actually met at One Young World and got a chance to spend time with. And again, that was something that filled me and showed me how I could essentially live my career, or live and do my career with a lot more purpose. And then eventually that's how Lewis actually found out about me. So just being in the very spaces that give you energy and fill you up often leads to opportunities. And it's just places where you can essentially fill your cup. So be around people and places that fill you. And the second, and probably the most important, is to be in places and explore where you can give your energy. So as your cup starts to overflow and you start to get a lot more, you'll realize that it can start to spill over into other places. So what communities can you support, and where can you share your enthusiasm that you've built up over the course of the last few years doing your undergraduate and now postgraduate? So for me, I guess there was a time when I nearly gave up on that motorsport dream. So I made it sound very smooth sailing, but in a lot of ways, I was trying to pursue motorsport. In my first year, I volunteered with a Formula student team. In my second year, I led the junior team. In my third year, I was rejected. And that is typically the route that you take if you're trying to go into motorsport. So ultimately, that was essentially being closed off for me at that point. But what I've gone and done after that, once I've now been in a position where I could do something, was ensure that every single team has access now to a rookie mechanic or a junior engineer so that they can join the teams and travel around the world with me and my peers and all the other teams to ensure that they can get an experience, especially for ones that wouldn't otherwise be able to have access to it. And that was from someone that was rejected from his Formula student team. Many of those people, I'm not sure exactly if they're in motorsport either. So you never know how it's going to turn out, so you can never look down on anyone. And I think after that, the main thing that I kind of saw was that the truth is, though doubt, is there, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And that's one thing that I learned kind of on that journey, because I went from doing everything in my first year to the second year winning the championship. So how do you go from being rejected to then winning the championship? It's by that resilience and sticking to it. And the most selfish thing that you can do is really help someone else. Because that's where, I guess on my journey over the last few years, is where I found most of the joy actually is. And it's not really so much about how much you have, but it's about what you do with what you have. So what you do with this master's that you've now managed to achieve. So I guess you're on the hilltop now, but you've now got an opportunity to reach out, reach back to communities that you come from, or those that you don't come from, and find a way to actually support them as well as you kind of go along that journey. So some of you have done business, finance, entrepreneurship, marketing, and otherwise. Some of you might have more money than others, some might have more kindness, some more love, but it's thinking about how you can use these qualities and give them back to environments that need them the most. So in short, what spaces can you start to serve? And another reason why that's important, because in 2014, I didn't realize either why I would want to go along this journey, but I was at a youth leadership conference, and they were speaking about writing an obituary. And at that time, I thought it was pretty dark. And it kind of hit me that nobody remembers the richest person in the room. Nobody remembers the richest person that died yesterday. So it was like, is that the most important thing? Probably not. One day it's Jeff Bezos, another day it's Elon Musk. I can't even keep count, so I don't even look. But after all, it's all kind of fleeting, and ultimately it will change, as mentioned before. Change is inevitable. So you might remember the person that had the biggest impact on your life. That's a bit harder to forget. So that's hopefully what all of you in this room can leave doing, having an impact on people's life, and ultimately all the resources that you need in order to continue to do that will come, as long as you keep that top of mind. So one quote that I've kind of always has always stuck with me has been, what people say about you when you leave is a testament to the legacy you leave behind. So what would people say when you're not in the room? And that is probably one of the biggest things that we can kind of focus on. Remember the story I told you about my brother? So he was eventually acquitted halfway through that trial at the Old Baileys, which is often unheard of. And he came out traumatized, as he would be, after being in Feltham Youth Prison. And he did his A-levels in there and managed to pass and come out with a full tuition scholarship. And I guess his name at that point, because he was 18, could be in the news. So in a lot of ways, it was tarnished. If you typed his name, Kenny Imafidon, there wasn't much positive things to actually say. There was all these news articles that were speaking about him essentially being in prison for murder and many other things. But he's gone on to create a multi-million-pound company and has recently shared his story in a book called That Peckham Boy. I think you get the trend. You see how much we have love for Peckham, right? And what for me has inspired me the most is not necessarily the company that he's built, which I think is so impressive, but it's actually his character and how many lives he's touched and how many people he's given hope to on the journey. And that often comes from adversity. When you all go through something and you come out on the other end, that is going to inspire someone, whether that's a breakup or something else. There's always some lesson to be learned and to share with somebody else. And that's essentially what he's done, whether it's impacting people on the inside of prison or on the outside. That's essentially what he's focused on. And in my case, I guess I received an MBE for services to young people in STEM. And that's going to be from King Charles. I'll be going to collect the medal in October. And till now, I still don't know who's nominated me. No clue. But my job right now is to use my platform in the best way that I know now to show that you're never too young to serve, you're never too young to lead, you're never too young to make an impact, and to really advocate for people that don't necessarily see themselves in these rooms. And I guess I received it not because of how much we've made. There's a lot of companies that have made considerably more than we have, but it's because of the people that we've helped over the last 8 years on this journey. So I think that for me was probably the point where it was like, it's all starting to make sense and it's all starting to come together. Even without the recognition, I would have felt that. So for you, as you leave today, I'd like you to think about how you can integrate purpose into everything that you do, as Paul Polman just mentioned, and just realize that it's not just this fancy add-on that we like to do in addition to our work. Because if you're building a company, for example, that's why a lot of people end up joining, because of the purpose of the organization. So I think it's important to try and integrate that as much as you can and try and use your circle of influence to actually drive change. And I think it was mentioned earlier as well that there's no point in playing safe or playing it safe, because nothing in life is really worthwhile without taking the risk. And Nelson Mandela once said, there's no passion found in playing small and settling for a life less than you're capable of living. It's a fact that you're going to fail. You will lose at times post this, which might sound somber, but it's the reality. And people will mostly remember the home runs. Who watched the England and Spain game yesterday with the women? Show of hands? There's a lot of us. And until now, I can't tell you how much time Spain has lost, but I can tell you, unfortunately, that they've definitely won one now. But ultimately, that's what people are going to remember, and that's just what resilience allows you to essentially achieve. So it's just most important to just keep going on that journey. And in the real world, you're going to fail, and if you don't fail, you're not trying. And you may have failed some modules on the course, maybe you failed some job applications that you've done already, but ultimately, that's not the end. When I was applying for spring weeks, I got rejected from everywhere other than one company, and that was the company that I actually wanted. So there was no indication of my worth through those rejections. I agree. And as big as this moment is, don't really let it define you. Let this not be your biggest highlight. And that was when I was sitting in my seat, that's what I was thinking. Like, this is not going to be the biggest thing that I've done in my life. This is not going to be the biggest impact, and there's more to come. So, graduating class of 2023, here's my mission for you. Never be discouraged, never hold back, give everything you've got, and when you fall, remember that this is a marathon. So keep moving and serve your way to the top. Congratulations, I love you all. Bless you, the marathon continues.
Wow, thank you, George, for sharing your story, which is a perfect example of making a difference that matters. Okay, it's now my honor to introduce Executive Vice President and Provost of Hult, Dr. Mona Dhillon.
Thank you, Dean Dougal. Graduates and guests, it is my honor to present this year's Hodges Scholar Award recipients. This award is in recognition of Dr. Stephen Hodges, who served as president of Hult's International Business School for 16 years, from 2006 to 2022. During his tenure, Hult became a global leader in business education, with campuses across 3 continents, over 4,000 students, and a global network of over 30,000 alumni. Under his leadership, Hult became the first triple accredited business school in the United States and is consistently ranked among the top business schools in the world. Dr. Hodges' entrepreneurial spirit, focus on innovation, unparalleled work ethic, belief in the power of practical learning, and his commitment to academic rigor epitomized the Hult ethos. In honor of his contributions to Hult, we established the Hodges Scholar Award in 2022. This prestigious award celebrates the values embodied by Dr. Hodges by rewarding the extraordinary academic achievement of students studying at Hult. The award is granted to students graduating with the top 1% GPA in their program globally. From the entire class of 2023 graduates across all campuses and all programs, 30 graduates have earned the Hodges Scholar Award, and 3 are here with us today. When I call your name, I request you to please rise and stay standing until all recipients have been announced. And for any family members out there, if you're here with us today, I request you to also rise and stay standing. Masters in Finance, Monica Christensen. Masters in International Business, Abhinav Giridhar. Masters in International Business, Lars Seiberg. Congratulations on this extraordinary academic achievement. To honor you today, you will be leading your graduating class during the degree conferral ceremony. The entire 2023 class of Hodges Scholars will soon be showcased on Hult's website and receive a personal letter of recognition from Hult President Dr. Matt Lilley. On behalf of the entire Hult International Business School, we wish you all the best as you embark on your next journey, and look forward to hearing of your future success as proud Hult alumni. Everyone, please join me in one more round of applause for Hult.
Thank you, Provost Dhillon. Now is the time that everybody's been waiting for. Me speaking for another 10 minutes. No. The Conferral of Degrees.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Emms. I am Assistant Dean at Hult, and I've had the pleasure of working with our MIM students, along with this wonderful man here too, a colleague of mine, over their program. Please note that those graduating with distinction are wearing a gold honour cord around them. Will all candidates of the Master of Science in International Marketing degree please rise? Dean Dougal, On behalf of the faculty and by virtue of its recommendation, I present to you the individuals who on completion of the graduation requirements are entitled to receive the Master of Science in International Marketing.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board, the New England Commission of Higher Education and the Ashridge Bonelaw Memorial Trust, I'm pleased to bestow upon you the degree of Master of Science in International Marketing.
Fariya Tasleem. Ahmad Al-Ek. Anifa Musenjimana. Anna Katarina Lange. Anna Sophia Yuen. Azri Asrani. Beatrice Cantali. Beatrice Fadilia. Carlotta May. Carolina de Moraes Silva. Caroline Tagliafieri. Chen He Ken Kang. Chilong Haeng. Daniela Rubiano Vargas. Emily Marlin Daub. Emma Abadia. Julia Morolo. Helen Anna Hack. Helena Nilsson. Ines Belhaj. Irene Alvarez. Isis Gamito. Jarrett Aaron Bijou. Jasmine Torkian. Jasmine Morales. Joanna Zhu. Kamola Abduvaliva. Konyansola Fakeye. Kenny Nguyen Jr. Kaya Haryani. Kira Burst. Claudia Skonechna. Christina Butler. Layla Anna Walt. Lida Yoyavu. Lorena Fimbres. Kanzo Lufechi Agu. Lynn Fekoitian. Margarita Stepanyan. Mary Schultz. Mary Paz Reina Aguilar. Melissa Pava Osorio. Ojualape K. Akinleye. Olga Babenko. Oscar Clausen. Panayota Sukuli. Rochelle Yi Tin Chao Kang Pio. Raghav Chandran. Sabrine Boisla. Sarah Jane Reagan. Setelo Mtetwa. Stella Joyce Gonzalez Villanueva. Teresa Katerina Geismeyer. Victoria Stadnik. Wishwanat Silva. Vrishab Rajiv Kocher. Yat Chi Moon Lam. We went to wait till everyone's seated. But congratulations to all of our MIM graduates. Woo! Congratulations. Now, each year, the students of each degree program select a class speaker. To be voted class speaker is a great honour, as it illustrates that you have the utmost respect and admiration from your fellow students. To share some thoughts on behalf of the MIMs, I would like to introduce MIM speaker Fariya Tasleem. Welcome. Got you all in my hand.
Thank you, Daniel. Esteemed faculty, family, and friends, when I look around today, gathered here today representing so many different countries and cultures, I feel immense gratitude. MIMs, how fortunate are we to have graduated with such a close-knit cohort. Applaud yourselves. And for that very reason, rather than giving an inspirational speech today, I chose to write a love letter to you all, consisting of my fondest memories, which, when I think of, are not just the lessons learned, but the people I learned them from and alongside. Starting from my extraordinary educators who shared their gifts with us. Let's first give an applause to our favourite, David, who brought marketing to life with his signature mix of entertainment and education. And don't forget how he expertly taught us that cat food is actually truly human consumable. Prince Will, who taught us that sass and strategy go hand in hand, schooling us in savvy critical thinking, which means no phones in class, unfortunately. And dear Wiki, who I think hasn't made it here today with us, but who vanquished the stress of studies with her magical morale-boosting hugs and, of course, her Backstreet Boy references. And all the other professors who pour their time, wisdom, and care into ensuring our success, we are so very grateful. But just as remarkable is our community we built amongst ourselves. When we got here, we were just a bunch of marketeers in training, but the diversity of the course made us so much more. We became an institute of future leading innovators, if that institute threw more parties and occasionally forgot we had Monday morning classes. But at least during the rest of the week, even if we were constantly late to morning classes, we fully immersed ourselves into marketing models, brand strategies, and each other's cultures. This journey would not have been possible without the phenomenal people who surrounded me this past year. To all my classmates, to friendships made halfway through the course, and to my day one, Carolina. Our friendship set the tone for this unforgettable experience. Che amo. I hope you're happy now. To Rishabh, the creative juice to my strategic mind. Our friendship was unexpected but inevitable. Great minds are bound to come together, don't you think? And well done to Azri for being an upstanding halal Muslim. Despite all the temptations, you made it. And of course, my parents and best friend of 20 years. Your love and support across the miles gave me the strength I needed to thrive. We came from different countries, different cultures and backgrounds, yet through weekends spent studying as groups and cracking each other's backs, or just Beatrice cracking mine really, because clearly I'm an old woman, right, Rishabh? Through celebrating each other's birthdays and creating our own little community, we have become like family. We challenged each other, supported each other, and made each one of us a better student and person. Though we may be scattering around the globe now, the theme of our year remains the same. The bonds we formed, the bonds we cherish, and they will stay with us wherever we go. Before I leave, since music has been part of the soul of our cohort, here's my attempt at some poetic words to keep as inspiration for our new ventures ahead, knowing that we can always count on each other. We started on this journey reflecting on self. Together we pushed forward, new friendships we did weld. Together, embracing each test. Long days and late nights as deadlines cropped up. The business challenge put us through hell, but together, preserved so well. No time for upset, we plunged with no fret. 16th second regrets triggered the freeze, but together, the moment we seized. The months quickly passed, each presentation cast, with Rishabh's drama and Sarah's songs. Together, oh how we endured it all. Summer brought electives, familiar faces we sought, our circles expanded, our paths caught. Together, for our friendship we fought. The job search brought stress, but our spirits blessed, as we lifted each other when challenges pressed. Together, the future we'll address. It's been a long, long road, but with you, we were told, the bond strong as gold will help us be bold. Together, we know we'll never again walk alone. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Fariya. Okay, now for the conferral of degrees upon our graduating MFIN program. Class, will all the candidates for the Masters of Science and Finance degree please rise? Woo. Dean Dougal, on behalf of the faculty and by virtue of its recommendation, I present to you the individuals who, on completion of the graduation requirements, are entitled to receive the Master of Science in Finance degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board, the New England Commission of Higher Education and the Ashridge Burnlaw Memorial Trust, I'm pleased to bestow upon you the Master of Science in Finance degree.
Mohamad Sultan. Monica Rezebrobakin Christiansen. Abdallah Khalife. Abidimi Adibiyi. Adriano Bosco Ribeiro. Alessandro Spisso. Alessio Cucchiara. Alicia Szaujek. Alyssa Bezina. Olympia Amarantinis. Anna Ribeiro. Anand Bhagwat. Bekruzbek Ramazonov. Bernard Brinkle. Cecilia Landvik. Chan Viboth Nguyen. Dadisai Roberta Makumba Chotto. Damien Ray. Davide Gronchi. Dhruval Gajar. Edmir Stache. Edward Guillaume Sprit. Egehan Cesar. Emmanuel Chukubuna. Fuad Dalba. Giovanni Motta. Gian Maria Costantino. Gerhan Elshek. Harmanjeet Kaur. Ivan Petrovich. Jesus Mogado. Jordana Letizia Kunzi. Julian Berry. Livia Baskova. Marta Ceterio. Matteo Figliedu. Mojolino Lua Oyelude. Nehal Tiwari. Ninad Raska. Paul Tulalope Akinjagula. Roberta Savio. Rodrigo Corey. Rankyo Kim. Sarah Gibrab. Savannah Rinker. Sebastian Ernst. Sirin Masamba Silla. Stefano Tranquillo. Thijs Himstra. Thorgunner Thorsteinsdotter. Tenna Leif Jorgensdotter. Tommaso Stromolo. Winkata Haramba Shiva Sai Kushal Mukarupu. Yaza Khan Min. Zachary Dolbeck. Zaid Ali Rashid Ali Sheikh. Another round of applause as they go back round. Woo! And an even bigger congratulations to all of our MFIN graduates. Woo! And to share some thoughts on behalf of the MFINs, I would like to introduce this year's MFIN class speaker, Mohamad Sultan.
From where should I start? I mean, it's hard, you know? Okay. When I first knew that I was coming to London away from my family, friends, my country, my home, excited but had this little fear inside of me, you know, jumping into the unknown. Landed in London, and the next day came to Hult, saw everyone gathering inside, outside the building. I reckon it was a mess. Too awkward for me, knowing that I'm an introvert person that doesn't like to socialize that much. But I told myself, this is the opportunity to push myself to the limit. So I started. So I started mingling around with everyone I see, and you get to see how diverse Hult is. I go inside the ground floor and I see the huge world map with a pin or two on each and every country, and then like 10,000 pins on Italy. I mean, but yeah, in that moment, I knew not to take this journey for granted. Days passed by, and I started making friendships with all my colleagues. Some friendships grew into brotherhoods. And especially the MFIN started to become more like a big family to me. Certainly, it is in the moment I go out from the bus or train station near Chancery, Holborn, Farringdon, I feel immediately at home. I walk inside the building and I see George at the reception. And oh my God, what a guy DJ Mo is. It's all about those chit-chats and sometimes deep conversations at night that made everything so special about this place. Now, as I said, Hult gives you this extraordinary opportunity to see so many different cultures across the globe. See how they think, how they talk, how they act in different situations, react to certain problems. And it gives you a thought about your background and how you perceive it and how you talk about it. And you grow so much because of this. On the academic part, I can say that Hult exceeded my expectations by far. Professors, very strong and solid backgrounds in every course they teach. Student services and career advisors, very professional, very helpful. And our program managers, Daniel and Anders, amazing people. Yeah, now I can finally say that finance is a lifestyle. It is a way of living. And you get all those MIBs, marketing people mistaking us for having that boring character that all we care about are numbers. I mean, we do care about numbers, but finance is a way of thinking, breaking down, solving a problem, budgeting, forecasting your own income, comparing two loans, which one to take in the best interest of you. That is finance, and we certainly use finance every single day in our lives. And we finance people like it when we have this special power in our hands. When we enter a room, everyone notices. When we say something, everyone listens and listens carefully and take, I would say, heavily into consideration. This journey was very tough. And everyone tend to think that, yeah, we're going to London, it's so much fun. It is so much fun, but people don't feel you when you are coming back late at your house with no one to talk to. Let alone the weather, the horrific fast pace of the sea, and the amount it takes you to travel from one place to the other within London. And I'm not talking about expenses. But we made that possible because we were acting as a family. And thanks to our two MFIN's representatives, so please give a warm round of applause for Paul and Hadi. Where are you, Paul? Daddy. No one recognizes you in here, Paul, with that hat. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Daddy, for acting as the reference, the ones to get to when we were in trouble. And friends, after meeting all of you, I can say you shouldn't be here. You all should be managing 8, 9, 10 figures a year. But here we are. And I know some of you remember me as that guy that comes late to class with Red Bull in his hands. But this guy believes in you. I believe in you. I believe in each and every one of you to achieve the unachievable. And if it wasn't for that year, it is certainly the one next or the one after, because you are smart and you are unique. Hult, you've been amazingly amazing. And please allow me to thank my mom and my dad for always believing in me. Last year I was cutting roses and lavenders somewhere in the mountains with my grandpa. Nothing to be ashamed of, but do whatever you want, son. You know what's best for you. I promise I'll make you proud. MFINs, I'll miss you, and I love you with all my heart. Go make us proud, baby.
Thank you, Mohamad. That was great. Hello, everyone. I'm Anders Bjornberg. I'm Assistant Dean here at Hult, and I've had the pleasure of working with our MIB students this year. Before we get to that formidable program, though, I have the pleasure of announcing some graduates in Masters in Business Analytics, as well as Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. These degrees are run in Boston and San Francisco. However, we are pleased to have a few graduates from those programs who've chosen to graduate with us here in London today. Will the candidates for the Masters in Business Analytics please rise? There's just a few of you. Yeah, there you are. That's right, welcome. Dean Dougal, on behalf of the faculty and by virtue of its recommendation, I present to you the individuals who, on completion of the graduation requirements, are entitled to receive the Masters in Business Analytics degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board, the New England Commission of Higher Education, I'm pleased to bestow upon you the degree of Masters in Business Analytics.
Come on down. Welcome. Mark Philip Zern. Therese Mork. Tim Felix Hahn. Will the candidates for the Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation please rise? Come on down. Dean Dougal, on behalf of the faculty and by virtue of its recommendation, I present to you the individuals who, on completion of the graduation requirements, are entitled to receive the Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board and the New England Commission of Higher Education, I'm pleased to bestow upon you the degree of Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation.
Ava Maria Binder. All right, congratulations to our MEI and MBAN graduates. Wonderful. All right, now for the conferral of degrees upon our graduating MIB class. That's right. Will the candidates for the Master of Science in International Business please rise? Come on, get up, get up. Dean Dougal, on behalf of the faculty and by virtue of its recommendation, I present to you the individuals who, on completion of the graduation requirements, are entitled to receive the Master of Science in International Business degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board, the New England Commission of Higher Education, and the Ashridge Bonalow Memorial Trust, I'm pleased to bestow upon you the degree of Master of Science in International Business.
Abhinav Giridhar. Lars Olsen Sayberg. Rashaf Abdul Razak. Agatha Catherine Dozo. Amit Mangan. Aisha Salihu Sa Abdullahi. Akash Prakash Jogdand. Okay, congratulations. Akin Dolapo Agyobu Alafon. Akshat Lalani. Alberto Nigetto. Alberto Tancredi. Alexis Victoria Counts. Almir Mesihovic. Yes. Alicia Brunin. Amaresh Raghunath Vasisht. Amine Hamdi Sharif. Amira Howery. An Fong Nguyen. Andifon Ukpana. Anya Romandik. Anne Bondal. Anne Ziza Likulia. Antonia Felipa Auguste von Hess. Areen Al-Sagaf. Ariana Agatsi Velasquez. Ariana Sinardi. Asma Yamina Zora Bulamtafez. Aurora Elena Lipo. Bara Ahmed Rashid. Barbara Reina Marchetti Vieira. Benjamin Mark Guski. Bertrand Girard. Bianca Siqueira Pereira. Blanca Reset Bosom. Bonto Palesa Ranswarang. Brianna Ewing. Brianna Jasso. Cameron Grant Lowenfield. Camila Delapiane. Carlos Enrique Morales Alvarez. Caterina Lamana. Charlotte Emma Alice Van Welligen. Christian Tassin. Christina Ashley Surgeon. Christoph Wegscheider. Clara Forup Krohn. Clara Denom. Damiano Sisti. Daniel Jasper Ratz. Daniel Henri Flambert. Daniel Adesian. Daniel Olamide Ige. David Alejandro Hernandez Lara. David Antoni Morelo Miravet. Dhruvi Chirag Kumar Shah. Dietmar Alexander Kus. Emma Asted. Esanula Naseri. Emily Rontved Krukowitz. Emily Sanchez. Emma Louise Kerr. Etienne Thibault Bastian. Evgeny Alexievich Lagunenko. Farisa Karshagina. Federico Ludovico Celli. Federico Patruno. Fedor Pankov. Felicia Engberg. Flora Ejupi. Francesca Delaglio. Gabriela Markakis. Gabriela Tuzilkina. Of course, Gabriele Spinucci. Gaetano Tiano. Gada Lamar. Gianmarco Pignozzi. Giorgio Attardi. Giulia Bartolini. Giulia Pedrazzini. Giulio Chimento. Gospel Nuafo. Guido Davide Signorin. Hakim Araisha. Got it. Haley Smith. Hanye Ahmadian. Hassan Slimane. Isabella Susanna Tucker. Ismail Wakrim. Jacopo Bertini. Jaden Olson. Jacob Gassidi. Jana Hohenadel. Jan Hinnerk Stolz. Jasmine Gillespie. Jillian Abele. Jordy Yang. Joseph Jimenez. Julia Carolina Pankowicz. Juliet Vargas. Kenokwan Tekatana by Paibun. Tekatana by Paibun. Got it. Got that. Or Beam. Congratulations. Ketsia Leandra de Silva Veloso. Karanshu Atul Kumar Mehta. Kushi Monga. Kiet Ye Obong Uduak Odoi Shiet. Henry Chan. Kolya Heimberger. Leah Roches. Lena Marie Schwiertz. Leon David Jammer. Long Man Sang. Lorena Cabrales. Don't worry about it. Luca Agostini. Okay, I got it. Luca Barata. Lucas Prudent. Lujane Murray. Madeline Chase. Mamadou Mangane. Mahek Ajay Longani. Mahima Rekar. Mahin Akbar. Mark Kramer. Marcia Reynoso. Marcus Theo Stromsness. Maria Celeste Bruno. Maria Fernanda Munoz Buleje. Maria Luisa Santos de Amorim. Mariah Johnson. Mariana Rojas. Marie-Louise Sarah Kinsa Maitre. Marjana Ali. Marjorie Moraes Moreno. Marcus Peter Eric Freisacker. Martine Vic Lima. Mateusz Binkowski. Thank you. Mateo Carrara. Congratulations. Mateo Sercia. Maxime Anton Baike. Mehtab Singh. Monica Chap. Okay. Mohammed Tamreen. Mohammed Dafa Ersan. Mohammed Rifa Karipal. Narmina Askarova. Nathanicha Neamnut. Nicholas Mark Thurman. Nicholas Luca Husinger. Nicola Choco. Nikita Silantev. Nikolai Berg. What's that? You can get Alec in there, yeah. Alec Worstrom. Congratulations. Say your name again. Oh, yeah. Norika Hamada. Omar Aboud El Jamal. There's a little commotion in the balcony there. Usman Tanor Mbaye. Congratulations. Paulsum Tangda Jahiran. Funzo Ralinala. Donald Precious Okolocha. Raghuvir Reddy Ganganapali. Raul Birangi. Rama Adibaskara Pamuji. Raquel Lamy de Carvalho Prado. Ricardo Rossi. Rumor Austin. Sam Ruben van Merwijk. Sarah Sanjeev Gokhale. Sarah Lena Nganu. Sarvani Kusu. Semaidiong Richard Ashwaiko. Serena Rinker. Shaknoza Saifidinova. Shelby College. Chelsea Diana Dos Santos Labarino. Shreyas Rajesh Turashkar. Siddharth Sharma. Sijuola Ajayi. Cindy Galasso. Sofian Gwemgam. Sonia Alexandra Alkyo. Sofara Miller. Stephanie Danyo. Stephen Luo. Tanapat Sirlon. Charlotte Winje. Thomas Berdo. Timothy Blessa. Tormod Stahl Simonsen. Tove Sortland. Umut John Seven. Valeria Didenko. Varshil Pankaj Chatrani. Victoria Soba. Viraj Bagadia. Xander Frankie Goderis. Yasin Adhayem. Yasmin Sharif. Yaku Xiong. Zara Yusuf Moti. Norma Natsumi. Congratulations. Faris Mohammed Marwan. Abdul Malik Al-Hamar. All right, congratulations to all of our MIB graduates. Let's hear it. All right, so to share some thoughts on this amazing group of students, I'd like to introduce the MIB class speaker, Abhinav Giridhar. Come on up, Abhinav. Abhi.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, proud families and friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduating class of 2023. I'm humbled to be able to speak at this year's graduation ceremony. I must confess that I've changed the speech over 50 times before today's occasion, so let us all get ready for draft version 51, the real graduation speech. Before starting, however, I would like to dedicate my special day to my grandmother and dog, losing both during my first few months at Hult. I hope I have made them proud. Our journey started at program immersion, and I remember entering campus for the first time, not knowing what to expect. Welcome to Hult. Your first team task is to build the highest tower structure using only marshmallows and wooden skewers, with each marshmallow and wooden skewer having a price, and each team having to order the items from Dean Ian and Dean Anders, based on a fixed budget. Traditionally, you would think that your deans would be unapproachable and intimidating. But just imagine for a second, on your first day, having both of your deans walking around with pink and white marshmallows in their hands. Those thoughts of fear instantly went out of the window. It felt like McDonald's for marshmallows. Then came our first day of lectures and the lovely feeling of missing attendance for the first time on our My Hult apps. Nevertheless, we embraced each class and had the opportunity to engage with some of the most down-to-earth professors. Analyzing business processes with Professor Alistair Brandon Jones, who in one class literally turned the entire classroom into a restaurant, dressed up as the waiter and mimicked how a restaurant process could potentially fail. Building a marketing plan with Professor David James, giving his live demonstration of a human being eating cat food. Yes, you heard it right, cat food. Financial Management and Decision Making with Professor Terence Say, where most of us who thought we were experts at Excel quickly realized we were better off saying beginner on our CVs. And finally, Sales Management with Professor Princewell, where we learned the art of persuading the customer to believe that they may not always be right. And just if you thought Hult was only about learning in the classroom, you are highly mistaken, as most of our learning came from engaging with each other in team meetings. The International in Hult International Business School isn't there just for fun, as we often had 6 people in a team, all from different parts of the world. 2 words: crisis management. A massive shout out to people from my first group to my last. The team environments allowed us to learn a lot about ourselves, about each other's cultural ways of working, and about how to get the best out of a team filled with diversity. We shared many laughs, from learning the 50 states of America in my one group, to getting a private tour of the Four Seasons Hotel Park Lane in another, by convincing management we were high-profile agents. I guess business acumen does come in handy. Finance club, to creativity club, to Chasing Smiles club, to our incredible football team, to Diwali, to Easter, to Chinese New Year, to Diaspora Day, to a Friday Ramadan event, to Persian New Year. Hult gave us the opportunity to engage in many student club and events and cultural functions, with our ever hopeful student services team supporting us to express our non-academic alter egos. I personally tried to express my creativity side by engaging in canvas painting, and it is now where I would like to formally apologize to all of those students who were in those sessions with me. Let's just say I'm the exact opposite of Leonardo da Vinci. Thank you to Brian at Hult Hut for always greeting us with a smile when we came to you to indulge in stress eating habits. Thank you to our amazing careers team for guiding our professional plans. And thank you to our ever-smiling well-being team for guiding our mental states when we felt the effects of a generous 10 hours of sunlight in London winter. No, trust me, I am not exaggerating. A quick shout out to my MIB 3 class from last year and MIB 1 class from this year. It was a massive privilege to have been elected to be your HSA, along with my other fellow MIB HSAs, Alec, Toby, Jacob, Brianna, Mary Louise, Alberto, and Boncle. As you remember this year, remember all the incredible people you have met and the diverse networks you have created all around the world. As a famous American businessman, John Davison Rockefeller Sr. once said, "Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great." And this is exactly what each one of us sitting here today has done. Realize that the little child who had a dream of pursuing an overseas master's degree has finally accomplished that goal. If there are a few things that my grandmother's death has taught me, it is to always remember to be in the present moment, to embrace each and every day on this earth, and to thank the ones that you love. So thank you to all the proud families and friends sitting here or watching on the live stream for helping each one of us to achieve our dreams. Thank you to each student and staff member sitting here for being part of this Hult journey. Thank you to my first tutor from South Africa for making it to graduation at such short notice. Thank you to my 2 wonderful parents for everything they have and continue to do for me. I love you both very much. I wish everyone all the best for the future. And yes, if you are wondering how this speech will end, I will end this speech on a cliche. It is not a goodbye, but a see you later. Once a Hultian, always a Hultian. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhinav. That was wonderful. Okay, we're coming to the end of our graduation ceremony. As we come to the end of the ceremony, it's time to look ahead to the future. You may know exactly what you want to do, or you may still be figuring it out. Whichever you are, as you set out on whatever journey is ahead of you, a few words of advice from another old man-ish. Number one, be confident. You've succeeded in this program. You have the tools to succeed in the world. Number two, be bold. You can go far, but if you don't try, you'll never know. The sugar packet advice. Number three, be respectful. Treat other people well. Create a positive aura. Respect is returned, and that will enhance whatever success you achieve. And lastly, be patient. Life brings its rewards, but they don't necessarily come quickly. As Hult alumni, you now have access to an extraordinary network. Make the most of it. Begin by signing up to the Alumni Association right here. Before we close our ceremony, I would like us to acknowledge those present who've helped contribute to your success. First of all, you wouldn't be here today without the support and dedication of your professors. So please join me in thanking your professors for their work throughout the year. Second, running a campus is not easy. Program managers, student services, careers staff, the welfare team, finance, admissions, visas, the daily welcome from reception, George on security, Brian in the hut. Our campus staff are incredibly supportive in dealing with the issues, the challenges that emerge through the year, always with the goal of getting you, our students, to this moment right now. So let's recognize the London campus staff for all the support they provide. Third, we're very pleased that so many of your loved ones, parents, relatives, friends, have joined us today to witness this graduation. To all of you up there, you are the quiet heroes who've supported our graduates throughout their journey. So please, join me in thanking them. Finally, after everything you've been through, you did it. You deserve all the praise in the world. So please give yourselves one final round of applause. Now, as we leave the ceremony, could all graduates, families, friends, and loved ones please remain seated while the platform party exits, after which we'll take group photos for our MIM, MEI, and MBAN cohorts. On that note, this commencement ceremony is hereby adjourned. Thank you.